Hello, welcome to the craft room. Only a short video today because we've all had colds here and I really do look like a yarn zombie at the moment. Anyway, recently I was commissioned to make the cardigan from this book. And as I was sharing on my Facebook page, I noticed a lot of people had trouble with this pattern. And to prove that I did make it, here's the finished article. And I thought I would do a small video just to show how I solved the few problems that I did find with the cardigan. Excuse me. I made this in the large size, but as we go along, some of it isn't large because I've had to adapt it. So we'll go to the close camera and I will tell you what I did. All right, so get on the chair comfortable. The first thing that I found is the tension square. Now, most people, if you look on the pattern, this is your tension square here. Most of the time when you do a tension square, you're trying to make a 10 centimetre square or 2-inch square. But with this pattern, it's different. This is the tension square that I made following the pattern. But what you do is you measure your 10 centimetres on it. If I can get the chook to sit right. And we'll get another one this way. Benefits of collecting measuring tapes. So we measure 10 centimetres like that. And then you got to count the stitches in this measurement. So it's, what was it? You should have 20 stitches in the 10 centimetres. So I think a lot of people did their tension square and it's not 10 centimetres. No, it's not, it's 15. But you're measuring the 10 centimetres within that square. So that's the first thing I noticed. It's not the way we normally do a tension square. The next thing I noticed is it says on here, this cardigan is worked on a larger hook than usually recommended for this yarn. But if you look at the label, it says 4mm. Now you do a 4 and a 5. The majority of the cardigan is done in a 4.5 and a 4. So it is the hook that you're meant to use for it. So I don't know what they were meaning there. Next problem I had is when we got down to dividing for the sleeves. Now I'll just put this underneath. So when we get down to here, we do all the yolks. The yoke is fine. I'll move this across so you can see. When we get to here to divide for the sleeves, you count how many 3 chain spaces you have. Now up until this point, mine was perfect. It's exactly what the pattern says. On dividing for armholes, sorry about that, still got the cold. I'm on size large and I needed 72. See, I wrote all this out. 72 3 chain spaces to be correct for the large size. But the large size, I worked out, if you go by the next row of the pattern, needs 68. So it's not right. 72 is not 68. So then I had to work out by how much was I different. And it was 4. And, is it 4? 68? 9, 7, yeah, it is 4. My brain is working. 4 ends up being 2 shells. These are your shells. So it's 2 shells worth. So then I had to get back to the lady who commissioned it and ask her, does she have a big butt or big boobs? Because I need to put the shells somewhere. And we worked out she's quite generous in the front department. So we put them on the front, which makes the front not lay as flat, but it's also not going to pull. So that's what we did. We put the extras at the front, but then I had to go through the pattern and mark it up to know that I was following a higher amount on the front. Okay? And the last thing I wanted to say is that you're going to look at the pattern and you're going to say, well, we've got a shell pattern here, we've got a sleeve pattern here, we've also got a decrease pattern here. They're all the same. No, they're not. On the shell pattern here, this is to do it straight under the arms, so it's like a row. The sleeve pattern, it's the joining up that's different because you're working around the sleeve. And the decrease pattern, this one had me stumped for a while, but then I figured out only on the 4th and the 5th round, it's where you decrease here. Everything else of this is the same as the sleeve pattern. But I can understand why they did it that way, because unless you have it separate, you won't know where to put your decrease, and then your arm will be all wonky and all that. So I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can. Can you see just there and just there and just there? They are my decreases. I haven't blocked this arm so that you could see it better. Okay, so that's basically all I wanted to say. I had 4 balls. And I have this much of the last ball left. This is the yarn that actually is the pattern's written for. And my voice is going. That is the colour number. And it is the one recommended on the pattern. There are other colours in this yarn. You don't have to have the purpley greens, but that is it. So I hope this is helpful. I know a lot of people had trouble with this pattern, and I hope those little hints help you out and you make your own one. Before I go, I just wanted to say on the sleeve edge and on the band edge, I did do a row of slip stitches just to firm it up because I know they get all felted up and horrible. And I'm going to go before I cough again. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you on the next one.